What's up guys, Meredith with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we are checking out the MotoFab 1-inch front leveling kit fitting all 2007 and newer Silverado 1500s, excluding the Trail Boss and ZR2 models. Now, if you want a little height for the front and you're looking for one of the most affordable ways to do it, and quite possibly one of the easiest ways, this is a great kit to look into. Now, this will be great for the Silverado owner who doesn't want to overdo it when it comes to lift height, but does notice a slight rake in their setup and wants to make that small correction or adjustment. This even works as a good option if you're looking to add it on as a counter to any heavy-duty components that you've added to the front, like a bumper or a winch. Now, unlike the typical strut spacers that go on top of the strut, this is going to raise it at the lower mount, pushing everything up, making it simple to pop this in without the use of a compressor or completely disassembling everything. Now, I do want to note that the spacer itself physically is not going to measure out to 1 inch. It's going to be about a ½ an inch, but the size of the lift compared to the spacer is never really one-to-one with a spacer lift. The spring compression and the suspension geometry combined with the spacer is going to create that 1 inch of lift in the front. Now, regardless of the spacer itself, when it's installed, this is going to give the front of your Silverado that small 1 inch bump in height. It's going to help when it comes to clearance and leveling out the appearance, as well as allowing up to a 33-inch tire in the wheel well very comfortably. Now, even though you are adding a little bit of height to your suspension, you're still going to retain the factory comfort that you're used to when driving and keeping that ride quality the same thanks to the very small but noticeable change. Now, this kit is going to be super simple with a block CNC machined out of a billet aluminum and then powder coated black to match your factory suspension. Now, the billet is going to be strong enough to handle the tough suspension pressure, and the powder coat on top is going to be an additional layer of protection to prevent any corrosion. Now, it's also, again, not going to require full disassembly like other kits, making it very straightforward, and the kit is going to come with all of the necessary hardware in order to install it. Now, this kit is $55 and will be one of the most inexpensive mods that you can probably find for your truck, let alone for your suspension. Now, again, this isn't going to be for Silverado owners looking for a huge change compared to other kits that will do that with taller ride heights or additional components. Now, this is going to be for you if you want that subtle bump for the front to get the clearance, offset the weight of a bumper or a winch, fit the tire, or just level out the look, all without the price and work associated with suspension. Now, installation will require some experience. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. However, with the right setup and right tools, it should take you about 4 hours to get the job done. Now, again, you're not gonna need a spring compressor for this. You're not going to have to take all of the suspension apart. You will have to do some disassembly to pop this into place, but compared to the average suspension lift kit, this is going to be one of the easiest ways to get that height. Now, speaking of the install, one of our customers here has installed this on their Silverado and is gonna walk you through what the process looks like step by step. So that is going to wrap it up for my review. Let's go ahead and get to the install.
Okay, I used a pair of channel locks, a small sledgehammer, hammer of any kind would be sufficient, 1/4 inch drive with a 9mm, 10mm, 14mm, and 15mm socket. I use small ratchet drives, 10mm and 14mm, a 3/8 drive with a 6mm hex bit, and a 14 and 21-inch combination wrench, as well as my good Snap-on impact wrench for removing the tires. Today we're going to be doing an install of a 1-inch front leveling kit on a 2023 Chevrolet Silverado. We'll start by jacking up the car and placing the jack stand in a safe position to remove the tire. The next step is we'll be removing the brake sensor and brake line connections to 10mm to give you some extra slack. $10mm, there's one here on the back side. Put the bolt back in so we don't lose it. One on the front side. Again, put the bolt in so you don't lose it. There's a couple spots here you can just pull loose. Pull loose. So those are all free. Okay, the next step, we're going to remove The top ball joint connection, it's a 21. No, sorry, 18. If you have a ratcheting wrench, you can use that as well. Loosen it down about like that, and I give it a little tap to break it loose. With the nut still on so you don't damage the bottom of the threads. That's loose now. And we're gonna loosen the lower one as well. That's a 21. Steering knuckle. Again, the same thing, I give this a little tap. Top 3 18s. These are 18s on the top. You gotta loosen the 3 top screws on the shock. That one. All right, for loosening the top 3 strut mount bolts, you'll have to remove this black plastic piece, and you'll get to the 3. They're right here. Once you get them loose, you can put a ratcheting wrench on there if you have one. Just loosen them up a good amount. Give you a 1/4 inch play or so you have room to move the strut assembly when putting the lower 2 bolts in. As you can see, I've got them about a 1/4 inch up. So I got those top ones loose. Gotta remove this sway bar nut and bushing. It's an 18 as well.
Does one loose?
Now we got it loose, we should be able to use the ratcheting wrench. And if it should happen to spin on you, you'll have to put a 9 millimeter in the outputting shaft to keep it from turning. And then proceed to loosen. All right, once you get that loose, you take rid of the wrench off. Remove the sway bar and bushing. Now, in the interest of not having this drop, remove the lower steering one. There you go. This is the part we're going to be replacing. Now you'll take your 15 and loosen these from the bottom. And just like that. So now we will be installing the new part with the new hardware included. This will go over this. There's 2 of these. I will grab the other one. Okay, here's the other bolt. We put a washer over each bolt and then a washer before each nut. Before you can install that, you will need to remove these 2 factory clips. I just took a pair of channel lock pliers, grab it from the side, gently pull it up, and they pop right off. Do the same with the other one. Pop them off. These you can discard. They go in the trash. They do not need to be replaced. This will go in as so, just like that. It cannot go the other way. It will not fit. It is not correct. It has to go this way. So straighten it there, get your bolt. We're gonna come in from the top. This is where you can use the jack to be your friend. Just jack it up a little bit, just to take the weight off of it. And then you can get the bolts to drop through just like so. Add your washer and your bolt to the bottom. Washer and bolt on the other side. For the new kit, you'll need 14s to install that on the top. So I've got a 14 ratchet and a 14. I'm going to be putting it in like that. How's the gap looking up there? Those are tight. Now we can put the upper control arm nut back in. And again, I'm going to use the jack to help give me an assist. All right. Okay. Put a couple of little boards under here, get the extra little bit of lift I need. Get it up enough, you can get the nut on the bottom. All right, put the bottom one in, the control arm, steer knuckle in, 21, going back on. And again, if this starts to turn on you, you'll have to put a little wrench on it while you're tightening the 18, just to keep it from turning. I can feel it starting to snug down. As soon as it starts to snug down, you can pretty much take this one off. It should stay. Yep, it did. Give that a good tighten. Then we'll be back at the top. I got this 18. Ah, this one's turning. So we will need to get a nut for the middle of that. I'll be back momentarily. Okay, I went to the toolbox and got a 6mm hex ratchet. I'm gonna have to put that in the middle to keep it from turning while you tighten the bolt down. So, holding this with one hand, tighten the bolt with the other, just keep it from spinning until it snugs down. Once it starts to snug down, you can remove this. And give that thing a good tighten. Now we gotta retighten the ones on the top. They're 18s. We gotta retighten those down, all three of them. Once you get them close with your ratcheting wrench, get your big wrench on them and give them a good tighten. And last but not least, the third one in the back. reinstall the plastic cover. And it's like so. Reconnect these lines where we took them out of the little holders. That one there. We did this one here. We unbolted this one here. Again, these are 10 millimeter. We got this little snap in there, so that's there. 10 millimeter here. Tighten that down. I got the one back here. Installing the back brake line bracket holder. Again, 10 millimeter. And we'll snug that down. That one's tight, this one's tight. All the snaps are back in. They're all back in their holders. Okay. Confirming everything's tight. Bottom is tight. That one's tight, okay. Now, we will do the other side and then we will come back and install this sway bar bracket. Installation's complete on the other side. Now we're gonna come back over and finish installing the sway bar bushing. Again, I put the jack under it to give me a little assist. It makes it a little easier to get this back in the hole. So, we're gonna put this back in there, put this back on here. The middle is turning, so we'll put the 10 on there. We will put the 9 millimeter on there to hold it from turning while we tighten this back down. Make sure you have the ratchet on tighten. Tighten it down till it's snug. Then get your 18 on there and give it a good tighten. Still wanting to turn, so put the 9 back on there. All right, is it. Put the wheel back on and call it done.
So that's going to wrap it up for my review and the install of the MotoFab 1-inch front leveling kit fitting all 2007 and newer Silverado 1500s, excluding the Trail Boss and 02 models. You can find this right here at AmericanTrucks.com.